My social studies project is the conflict after the compromise. These are the ideas that I made to try to start my project. The first idea was sound effects. The second idea was timeline. The third idea was the links. The fourth idea was a video. The fifth idea was a music. The sixth idea was a slide. The seventh idea was a map. The eighth idea was artwork. The ninth idea was pictures. And the 10th was costumes. And now, here is conflict after the compromise. Most of the time, conflict occurs before compromise. However, during the War of 1812, there was a conflict after the compromise. The War of 1812 was fought between the U.S. and the United Kingdom. It was the second war between the two countries. The war began on June 18, 1812, and ended February 1815. It took place in the United States, from the borders of Canada in the north, all the way to New Orleans in the south. The War of 1812 took place for several reasons. The main reasons being trade tensions, impressment, and Native American conflict with U.S. settlers. Trade tensions were a reason for the war because the British wouldn't allow U.S. ships to trade with other countries, such as France. The British were involved in a war with Napoleon and sank U.S. ships that tried to trade with French. Impressment was the second reason for the war. Impressment was where the Royal Navy openly searched U.S. ships and took sailors as prisoners of war from the ships for being deserters of the United Kingdom. Native American conflicts were a reason because the U.S. believed the British were giving Native Americans weapons to use to attack U.S. settlers. In 1814, while held captive aboard a British ship, Francis Scott Key watched the bombing of Fort McHenry and observed that the fort's flag continued to fly. When the bombing stopped, he started a poem but would not know until the next morning who won the battle. The next morning, Francis Scott Key was inspired to see a large American flag flying over the fort, and wrote the other half of his poem, Defense of Fort McHenry. It would later be turned into the Star-Spangled Banner, our nation's national anthem. The war ended with a compromise in the Treaty of Ghent, signed December 24th, 1814 by diplomats from the two countries. Even though neither country gained territory, this treaty did make peace between the United Kingdom and the U.S. Even though neither country gained anything from this war in terms of land, the U.S. gained importance in the eyes of the world. Just as the two countries thought the war was over, there was a conflict after the compromise. That was found in the Battle of New Orleans due to the fact that the opposing forces did not receive the news of the treaty until February 13, 1815, almost 2 months after the Treaty of Ghent was signed. The Battle of New Orleans took place on January 8, 1815. One of the most important figures in the Battle of New Orleans was Tennessean Andrew Jackson. It was said he was tough as old hickory wood on the battlefield, which gave him his nickname. Jackson's 4,000 troops won a total victory over 10,000 British troops. The British had over 2,000 troops injured, captured, or killed, to less than 100 U.S. troops injured. It was one of the bloodiest battles of the entire war, given its great importance and forever-ending war between the U.S. and the United Kingdom. It was the start of the United States as a powerful nation.